What's up, guys? It's your boys Awoki back with another of. I can't say this is a crime video, but this is absolutely scary to say the least, and an unfortunate, tragic event that hopefully I'm scared to know the numbers of how many people have passed and perished in this incident. But the bridge collapse in Baltimore, Maryland. I remember going on this bridge quite a few times when I was in AIT for military. We're going to take a look at obviously what had happened. There are people that still don't know this even happened today. There's two different versions of watching this of where this was located by camera, but we're going to be taking a look at what had happened, the screw up with a cargo ship, and all that is right now. So grab a chair, get comfortable, and let's get into this. But before we go any further, make sure you guys are subscribed by hitting the white bar icon down the bottom right. Hit the bell icon next to it, so when I do post videos like this one, you guys will get that little ring notification that Wookie myself has posted that video, and you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And with that being said, let's get into it.
A stunning bridge collapse
Holy
at the port
crap.
of Baltimore.
The entire Key Bridge is in the harbor.
The Francis Scott Key Bridge plunging into the water overnight after it was hit by a cargo container ship.
I wanted to know what the bang was. Ship hit the Key Bridge, sinking. The bridge is gone.
How did they not see the bridge, man?
Video shows smoke coming from the ship before it hit the bridge. The bridge is normally a major artery spanning the Patapsco River, and though the collapse happened in the early morning hours, 1:30 a.m., video shows cars crossing moments before the...
Just think if this happened like during... I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying, just think what would happen if this happened during lunch hour or rush hour.
Ship hits. The traffic then paused, but vehicles were still on the bridge as
oh
it
my
crumbled
gosh
into the water. Fire department and Coast Guard teams rushed to the scene, rescuers searching the water overnight.
Still very much in an active search and rescue posture. Our sonar has detected the presence of vehicles submerged in the water.
The ship is an almost 950-foot container vessel called Dolly, headed from Baltimore to Sri Lanka. The Synergy Marine Corporation saying it collided with the bridge pillar, and all of its crew members, including the two pilots, have been accounted for. The ship reportedly lost power while in the water. This morning, with the sun rising, search teams continue looking for any survivors in the water as the Baltimore area reels from a major collapse.
Oh my gosh.
Tom, we know
So
that
it
there
lost
was vehicles
power?
in the water, as that official pointed out. The weather is very cold, so if there are survivors who are still in the water, how long can they safely remain in those cold temps?
Yeah, 40, 45 degrees in the water, 32 degrees outside right now where we are. We checked with the University of Minnesota Duluth, and they're saying at about 7 minutes, if you're in the water, you start to have exhaustion, and then you may have, if you're lucky, if you've got a flotation device, if you've got the right gear, you might be able to survive for an hour. So we are now several hours, almost 6 hours into this episode. Survivability is really potentially very, very challenging. But overhead, helicopters continue to search the water for any signs of survivors. And this is an all-hands-on-deck effort in terms of Baltimore and Maryland state authorities.
Holy crap.
And surrounding counties all sending mass resources into this area, trying to find anybody who might be in the water.
Let's talk, Tom, if we...
So I'm just wondering, with it, obviously the boat having emergency power loss, don't they have like a correction where you can like not like just turn on the brakes, but like a emergency backup power or some way to like stop the boat from doing this? I'm just wondering if that's a possibility. Any engineers or boat enthusiasts that know about this, like, was there any way to divert this?
Could about this cargo ship itself. Earlier, you and I were on the air. We could not even make out in the dark whether the ship was still afloat. We now see
I'm surprised
that
they
it
didn't
is.
sink.
We've been told by authorities that the crew remains on the ship, including presumably the pilot of this vessel. What is the investigation going to look like now? As I understand it, by law, you have to, if you're traveling these very complex waters of in and around the Baltimore Harbor and the Chesapeake Bay, you have to have a local marine pilot on because it is so complex.
Yeah.
If we can even roll the video, Tom. In the moments before it hits this structure, this key part of the
It
pylon
lost power.
of the bridge's structure. The ship looks dark. It looks like it's lost power.
Yes, and there was one report that it had, in fact, lost power. The fire department chief is saying that they will not put people on board that ship until they do a full damage assessment to determine how safe it is.
There's cars parked up here. There's a semi that came over here.
And then they've got to evacuate the crew and determine how seaworthy the vessel is. However, at the moment, it seems to be fine. The NTSB will actually be running the investigation into how this happened. But I must say, the locals here are stunned that this ship would, first of all, crash into one of these pylons. Again, we don't know if they...
Well, look at the gap, man. The gap, how big it was.
Control of the ship. And secondly, stunned that this bridge would be so vulnerable to collapse.
Look at that.
With the ship hitting a pylon. Just a whole series of questions that you can imagine the entire city is asking. I would make the point we are right up.
Look at this entire gap. Couldn't you have moved over a little bit? Like, come on.
Against very close to I-95, that critical north-south corridor on the East Coast. I-95 is open. 695, however, is closed. And so if you are planning to come up and down the East Coast, be aware that the area around Baltimore is going to be really, really trying and problematic just in terms of traffic. And the port of Baltimore itself, one of the busiest in the country, is going to be reeling from this and trying to determine how safe it is to move ship traffic in and out.
Live pictures out of Baltimore as the sun's coming up, Tom. The Francis Scott Key Bridge perhaps totally collapsed this morning, a 1.5-mile thoroughfare right around Baltimore City.
Hey, so this is what had happened. Obviously, this is uninterrupted this time, so you guys can actually watch it. But so I'm still confused why, like, the boat was next to the pylon so close. Why it couldn't have been this huge what? How big is that? Probably maybe 3 football fields. 1, 2, 3, maybe. I don't think this is any audio. I don't think it's working. Hold on. Okay, there is audio. Holy. Look at these cars. Oh my gosh. Just think what it would have sounded like. So we have another one, another view. So this is an actual camera that's on the actual street. So watch this. This is scary. So whoever's in this car right here, on the top here, holy cow. This has no sound. Holy sh... So, these people, this person up here, and this person coming down. Holy crap. I'm hoping that they are okay. So with that being said, guys, that is definitely what had happened this morning. We don't know much more when it comes to this. It's definitely going to cause a lot of problems because, one, the traffic from the bridge, the traffic that's underneath the bridge for the ships. Also, how are people going to know that their loved ones were in those vehicles? Now they have to find the vehicles. Hopefully they find survivors. Hopefully they can return the people that, if anybody does unfortunately pass, that they can be found and given back to their rightful families. Oh man, I'm definitely interested to see what's to come for the next few weeks after we find out more about the situation with the boat and what was the cause and so forth. But hopefully you guys stay safe out there when you're driving. Please take care of one another because you never know when this could be. They didn't know this was going to happen. So please take care, be safe, and as always, keep nerding on, and we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.